recent decades, the literature for ADR has really closely resembled the leadership literature. The research, the themes and skills that are stressed in the leadership literature are really similar to ours. Some of those skills have to do with empowering people to make their own decisions, just like mediation asks people to go ahead and decide for themselves, rather than having someone in a hierarchy like a judge decide. Leadership literature is turning more towards that. Do you think that's usually best way?
I know that especially within the law school, things are very competitive. You know, you want to obviously do the best so that you get the highest rank that you can. Can professors unilaterally come up to a student and make an accommodation for them? And if so, would that be vetted? And yeah, I guess that's what it is. Would that be vetted by, I don't know, the Office of Disability Services, or who would handle that?
Well, anytime a faculty member goes outside of the established process that's in place by the university, they run the risk of becoming personally liable for accommodating those, that student. So the example might be, a professor decides they're going to accommodate a student and give them extra time on the exam. So that situation comes up in another class where, the student says, well, Professor so-and-so gave me extra time on, on my exam, how come you're not doing it? And so then it sets a whole monopoly, domino type of effect that can take place and again, make that particular professor. It also puts the university at risk, and so it's better for that professor to refer the student to our office and not set up personal types of accommodations. There might be a situation where a student, I've heard of situations where a student was accommodated in a classroom and then wanted to go on to graduate school and take the GRE. And so expected the professor to sign off on that there's a particular section of the graduate GRE application that addresses disability. And so expected the professor to sign off on that and say, well, you gave me accommodations in class, but why can't you sign off on this? And so it can really, again, set off that whole domino effect. And so you have to be really careful about doing that.
There are some changes, though, that are just common sense. I've had visually impaired students. I use visuals in my class. It's perfectly reasonable to provide them so that they can use them at a closer space that they can see, right? Or a student with a hearing impairment, I might agree to allow them to record the class for that purpose so that they can go back and listen to it again. I think whenever you're talking about extra time, that's a completely different situation because most people see that as very meaningful of an accommodation. But the minor adjustments of the classroom, I think, are within the province of the professor.
And that goes to what Professor Ensel's really talking about, what we call universal design of instruction. And so if that's going to make it really easier for everyone in the class to get that information, that makes perfect sense without having to go through the accommodation process. It's really just going to the universal design of instruction that you're helping a wide range of learners in the classroom with different types of learning styles and different types of learning needs.